Friends, stroke is a sudden neurological deficit caused by stoppage or interruption of blood flow to your brain. Stroke and heart attacks are caused by the same risk factors. Together, heart attacks and brain strokes cause about a quarter of all deaths on this planet. That's a big number, guys. And every 2 seconds, one person gets a stroke in the world. What is heartening in this whole scenario is that about 80% of the strokes can be prevented. Yes, you heard it right. If you can understand your risk of developing a brain stroke or heart attack and take measures to lower the risk, you can escape this mass killer. Friends, sit back and watch till the end. I'll give you simple and effective tips to lower your risk of stroke. Let's take a look. Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Arun Naik from DocLog's channel, helping you to be on the positive side of your health. In this channel, we have dialogues on brain and heart health, lifestyle diseases, cancer, backbone health, and preventive health. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to DocLogs. All the additional links, tips and tricks told in this video, I will leave the details in the description box below. If you want, you can check those out. In 2018, a New England Journal of Medicine study involving 195 countries showed that 1 out of 4 of us will suffer from some form of stroke during our lifetime, putting the risk at a whopping 25%. This triggered panic around the world's scientific community, and there is a renewed urgency in addressing this stroke burden in the community. And the main reason for heart attack and stroke is atherosclerosis, or deposition of unhealthy fat inside the arteries supplying them. So, atherosclerosis is the killer behind heart attack and brain stroke, friends. What are the risk factors for stroke? Friends, there are 2 types of risk factors for stroke: modifiable and non-modifiable. As the name suggests, you can control the modifiable factors and you don't have any control on the non-modifiable risk factors. What are the modifiable risk factors? There are 8 of them. Number 1, hypertension. Number 2, diabetes. Number 3, obesity. 4, heart disease. Number 5, smoking. Number 6, physical inactivity. Number 7, excess alcohol. Number 8, drugs. And then there are 4 non-modifiable risk factors. They are age, gender, genetics, and ethnicity. Coming to factor number 1, high blood pressure. High BP is definitely a risk factor for both types of strokes, ischemic strokes and hemorrhagic strokes. Undiagnosed or untreated high blood pressure damages your arteries and make them vulnerable to get blockage of brain artery or rupture of a brain artery. What is worrying trend is more and more young people are diagnosed with high BP and they neglect their health and land up one day with stroke and heart attack. Coming to factor number 2, diabetes. Diabetes causes more of ischemic type of stroke. High sugar levels cause inflammation inside your arteries, and this inflammation leads to buildup of cells and fat, causing blockage of that artery. If the blockage happens in the heart, it causes heart attack, and if it happens in the brain, well, yes, it causes stroke. Uncontrolled blood sugar multiplies your risk of brain stroke by many folds. Let's go to factor number 3, obesity. Friends, increase in your waist size also increases your risk of a stroke. Increased weight causes buildup of unhealthy cholesterol or LDL inside your arteries and blocks them. Increased weight also causes your other type of fat called triglycerides to build up in the body, and your risk increases if you had a first degree relative like your parent or a sibling with premature heart attack or stroke. Let's go to factor number 4, heart disease. Atrial fibrillation is a type of rhythm disturbances of your heart. This rhythm dysfunction causes stasis or slowness of blood in the chambers of the heart. This causes blood clot formation which travels out of the heart and reaches the brain artery and blocks it. and this causes a type of stroke called embolic stroke. I see quite often the heart disease getting diagnosed after a person gets a stroke. That takes me to the factor number 5, smoking. Friends, you all know that smoking causes many types of cancers in the body. But did you know smoking causes stroke and heart attack? Undoubtedly, yes. Smoke has a ton of toxins and gases which leads to inflammation and buildup of LDL cholesterol inside your heart and brain arteries. Smoking also causes hypertension by hardening your arteries. Smoking causes both ischemic and hemorrhagic types of stroke. Fortunately, there is a good news for smokers. Friends, if you are a smoker and if you stop smoking in the next 3 months, your risk of developing a stroke and heart attack comes down in about next 1 year. So kick that butt today. What the research is shown that passive smoking is more risky for heart attack and strokes. Let's go to factor number 6. Physical inactivity or sedentary lifestyle nowadays is considered a disease by itself. Yes, being inactive doubles your risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes and obesity. It also increases the risk of colon cancer, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, lipid disorders, depression and anxiety. According to WHO, 60 to 85% of the people in the world from both developed and developing countries lead sedentary lifestyles, making it one of the most serious yet insufficiently addressed public health problems of our time. It's estimated that nearly 2/3 of children are also insufficiently active, which seriously implicates for their future health. Let's go to factor number 7, excess alcohol. Alcohol is an universal beverage consumed in all cultures and traditions all over the world for centuries. Alcohol was in the news in the last decade for its beneficial health effects. That, friends, is half truth. Friends, if used moderately, alcohol is supposed to be protective. Now, the moderate use of alcohol is well defined. 1 drink per day for women and 2 drinks per day for men is the limit. Then 1 drink is also defined. So 1 drink is 270 ml of beer, 150 ml of red wine and 45 ml of hard liquor like whiskey. When we say 2 drinks per day, friends, there are many variables to consider. What is okay for my body may be dangerous to your body. Alcohol metabolism is complex and everyone's liver is different. So be aware of your body's ability to handle your alcohol. Indians have less ability to metabolize alcohol. Alcohol deranges your blood cholesterol levels and builds up cholesterol plaques. Binge drinking also can cause strokes. Binge drinking is drinking a huge amount of alcohol in short time. Like in smoking, if you modify your alcohol intake, you can minimize your risk in a few years of time. Let's go to factor number 8, drug use. I see a lot of youngsters landing up in brain stroke, especially after heavy usage during the weekends. IV users are affected more. Again, stopping drugs will reverse your risks in a few years. I said 80% of the strokes can be prevented. Unfortunately, youngsters neglect these modifiable factors and make them non-modifiable by themselves. This is a dangerous trend. Asian countries, especially India, is now the stroke capital of the world, especially stroke in younger people. Let's now discuss the non-modifiable factors. As I told, we have no control on this. Unmodifiable factor 1, old age. Old age is definitely a risk factor for stroke. 65% of stroke patients are elderly, more than 65 years of age. This was 75% a decade ago. Now, due to better lifestyle changes and awareness, stroke in the elderly is slowly coming down. But equally worrying fact is emerging in the community. That is stroke in young. Stroke between the ages of 15 to 49 is called stroke in young. And now 35% of stroke happens below the age of 65. The main reason for this changing trend is sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and excess alcohol. Again, 4 modifiable risk factors just discussed, and youngsters neglect their health and getting affected by stroke. Let's go to factor number 2, gender. All over the world, males are affected more than women till the age of 65. After that, men and women are affected equally. Let's go to factor number 3, family history. Stroke runs in some families. If you have first degree relative, that is your parent or sibling with premature stroke, then you may run the risk of stroke. Let's go to factor number 4, ethnicity. Africans and Asians have an increased risk of stroke compared to Americans or Caucasians. This may be due to genetic changes in their cholesterol metabolism. You can help to reduce your risk of a stroke by making some healthy lifestyle choices. Whether it's your diet, activity levels, or lifestyle, it's never too late to make a change. Act today. Friends, I'll give you simple and effective 8 tips to stay away from stroke. I say it again, 80% of strokes can be prevented by making small changes in your lifestyle. Let's go to tip number 1. Cut down on alcohol. Keep an eye on the peg size and frequency of drinking. Gradually reduce the number of pegs. Every person has different upper limit for alcohol. Consult your physician for further details. For tips on knowing your limits, or if you are worried about your drinking, visit my channel for more such videos on alcohol and health effects. Tip number 2, stop smoking. Friends, smoking doubles your risk of dying from a stroke. Good news is, after a year after you quit, your risk of stroke starts to drop right away. Stopping smoking could be one of the best things you ever do for your health. And there is a lot of help available. Visit my channel for more tips on how to stop smoking. Let's go to tip number 3, exercises. Friends, being physically active reduces your risk of a stroke. And you don't have to join a gym. Simple practices like avoiding elevators and taking stairs will ensure you get enough exercises for your lower body. Indulge in regular exercises of your choice, be it cardio, walking, jogging, swimming, or a game of badminton, depending on your physical abilities and your health condition. Contact your physician before undertaking any new exercise program. But friends, consistency is the key for success. We advise at least 30 minutes per day, at least 5 days a week is needed to show any benefit. Let's go to tip number 4. Reduce your waist size. Friends, being overweight puts your risk of a stroke up to 70%. Extra weight affects your body in many ways, such as raising the risk of high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, which are both linked to stroke. As a broad guideline, if your waist size is larger than 37 inches in men or 32 inches in women, you could be overweight. BMI or body mass index shows whether you have the right weight for your height. Your BMI should be ideally below 25. Tip number 5, eat healthy. Friends, there are no secrets to a healthy balanced diet. Just a few basic diet guidelines is enough. Eating too much of salt can raise your blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for stroke. We all need a small amount of sodium in the form of salt for our metabolism. 1 teaspoon contains 6 grams of salt, and that's all we need in a day. In your cooking, you can reduce the amount of salt you use. Try adding spices to boost flavor instead. Don't forget the salts hidden in everyday foods, including bread, cereals, and processed meats. Takeaway foods have tons of salt in them, so be careful. Having too much sugar can make you gain weight, which in turn increases your risk of type 2 diabetes and stroke. You should aim to eat no more than 30 grams of sugar per day. Remember, a can of sugary drink can have more than 20 grams of sugar. Just like salt, a lot of sugar is hidden in common foods like tomato ketchup. Having a low-fat diet can help with losing weight, which reduces your risk of a stroke. You can help to reduce your cholesterol by eating less saturated fat and replacing it with a small amount of unsaturated fat. Saturated fat, friends, is often a solid fat such as butter found in cheese, cakes, meat, sausages, ghee, etc. Unsaturated fat is often an oil such as olive oil or groundnut oil. If used in moderation, this is good. Fish like salmon and sardines, flax seeds, almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, avocados have healthy omega-3 fats which are good for heart and brain. For cooking, try replacing saturated fats like butter with small amounts of olive oil or groundnut oil. Again, try to avoid too much of oil. Friends, totally avoid junk foods because they have tons of trans fat which cause blockage of brain artery and causes stroke. Going for foods with lots of fiber can definitely reduce your risk of a stroke. Eating plenty of vegetables and fruit is a great way to get more fiber. Go for whole grain bread, pasta and rice. Never peel the skin of potatoes and apples. Oats, nuts and seeds can also boost your daily fiber intake. Watch several videos on brain healthy foods in my channel. Let's go to tip number 6. Stop the drug. Youngsters, stop those drugs immediately. They make you unhealthy and prone for heart attacks and stroke. Stopping drugs can reduce your risks of developing stroke in the future, just like stopping smoking. Let's go to tip number 7. Regular health checks. If you're 30 and above, it is wise, friends, to go for health checks and rule out diseases like high BP and diabetes. Go for lipid profile test which will tell you if you have hypercholesterolemia. Undiagnosed underlying conditions like high BP, diabetes or high cholesterol are the silent killers for youngsters in the coming days. That takes me to the last and most important tip. Tip number 8. Reduce your mental stress. Friends, mental stress is an underreported and understudied risk factor for stroke. Hundreds of studies have shown that the stressed individuals run the risk of stroke. Still, this important risk factor is not included in the modifiable factors for stroke. I'm sure it will be added one day in the coming years, considering the increasing number of stroke in the society. Indulge in yoga, meditation, and games to detox yourselves from stress. With that, friends, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you found this video helpful. If you liked it, give me a big thumbs up. Otherwise, keep watching my channel for my other videos. Share this video with your near and dear ones to put them also on the positive side of their health. If you are new here, please consider subscribing to DocLogs. Hit that bell icon to get notifications of my new videos. Which one of these tips was your favorite today? And if you have a tip of your own, please go ahead, share and comment in the comment section below. Friends, I'll be back with another equally interesting DocLog very soon. Till then, feel awesome, live awesome and take good care of your health.